Hello, my name is Adrian Anderson. I've been working with Oracle CPQ for over 10 years now, and I currently work at Oracle supporting the product. This content is separate from my work at Oracle, and it's just an effort to get information out there for free. So in this video, we're going to continue implementing asset-based ordering. In the last video we left off, we added the migration package to the site. We've added some components to the UI, and then we really saw the result of our efforts. So we went to a transaction, added a part, and then we attempted to see what's in the asset repository. And then we also attempted to add the part to the asset repository, none of which worked at that point. So we're going to continue the process today. And coming to the screen here, if you remember when we first started implementing, we came to this document and I highlighted these ABO packages and these BML text files. And what we're going to do is we're going to work from this 23D BML and action script, these files that you get in download, and we need to add them to the site because they just don't come. You need to do some work here. Okay. So I have these downloaded already here. ABO actions, this library. It says library, but we're not going to be working in library or exclusively in library functions. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 you get. Actually, I think when you download them, you'll get 5. But this ABO reconfigure action, you'll need to make 2 versions of it because one is going to go at the main doc and one is going to go at the sub document. So these are kind of boring. I'm not going to drag you through them. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start implementing them. I'll make comments as I go in case there's anything I think they're important, but this will likely be just sped up so I can get it done quickly. So let's go to our site and we will get started. Okay, so we finished adding all of our BML to our actions, our destination tabs, our transaction line defaults. And just to wrap that up, short and sweet, there's going to be two things you need to do as you're going through that. One, make sure all the attributes that you need are initialized in your code. And then two, make sure the path on your utility functions is correct. It won't be just util dot variable name of the function. It'll be util dot, I think it's ORCL underscore ABO, and then the variable name of the function. Because if you see, if we come to the BML library, it's nothing's in this root folder. Everything is in this subfolder here. So this folder name dot, this folder name dot, then the variable name of your attribute. Okay. So there are a couple more things that I want to highlight before we actually see how everything is working and what those things are. So we'll add a configuration. I'll just show you. I got this configuration from another site. I didn't do pricing. Pricing is not important right now. And then also what we're selling isn't so important right now. Just know it's a mix of hardware, software, and services. So everything that you could think about buying. So once you, again, you're still seeing them not getting these instance ID, action code, etc. Okay. And then when I click save, we're going to get a bunch of errors. So this is typical. It's normal. We haven't quite finished setting up. So what I like to do is I like to inactivate the rule that's responsible for this just while we're getting most of the things that we want done. I usually activate this closer towards the end. So I'm going to, this is the rule here, validate contract end date. I'm going to deactivate it or inactivate this right now. And then I'll deploy. Okay. So now we shouldn't get this error. Okay, wonderful. And then lastly, to make sure we're getting the instance ID and action code, we need to make sure that this system attribute is true. System underscore system underscore subscription underscore order underscore enabled. It should be true. Right now it's false. So to get this to be true, we need to make sure that this BML utility function is this ABO delta. And let me just show you how I got there. So from the admin screen, I'm going to come to BOM. I'm going to come to declare utility function and ABO delta. So we'll save this. We'll go back to our debugger. We'll import again. And now it's true. So at this point, we've done a lot, most of what we needed, maybe 80% of what we needed, at least inside of CPQ, to make sure we are getting everything we need, at least to start the main purpose or the main function, or really kind of getting the motor started, for lack of a better phrase. So let's delete this configuration. We'll add another. Let's see our efforts in action. Okay, so we are back in our transaction. We're working against customer 123, and we're going to make a request for January 1st, 2024. We'll add a configuration. They have all our items. They have their instance ID. They have the action code. The model has its fulfillment status, and all the lines have their corresponding request date as well. So we can save, and then we will click Update Asset, and we just got a nice clip. So from here, we can do a few things. We can look at Postman to get assets. Now we see we have assets in the items array, which is good. We could click on customer assets here, and we can see that there are assets there, But it's better to, or more appropriate to create another transaction for the same customer at a later date, at a later request date. So let's say in this example, we bought something and we wanted to start on January 1st. And, we know that we want to upgrade something in Q2, so April 1st. So we'll make that a request date. We'll click save. So instead of doing a brand new configuration, right? We'll come to customer assets. Here's the asset we want. It's just the model, just the root asset. We won't get everything. You could play with there's a query that shows assets here, but I don't really suggest it, but you could. So we're just showing the model here, and we can do a number of things. We can modify it, we can terminate it, we can suspend it, we can resume it, we can renew it. In this case, we're going to modify it. And let's just make a few changes here. Let's say we want to go for a 9-rack. Let's just make some big changes. I think that's enough. So we'll update, add the transaction. And now you'll see that some things have this hyphen, which represents no change. We are adding some things, right? We are deleting some things. So something I want to point out, basically what's happening is we're adding this 9-rack unit and we're deleting the 3-rack unit. So we're doing like a replace. Okay. Same thing for some of these other parts. We are updating. So we're not replacing part for part. We're changing something about this part. In this case, we're changing the quantity. We went from 1 to 30. And that's really what you'll see in a modify. We're changing things. We're adding some things. We're deleting some things, and we're updating some things. You don't have to do all three, but I just wanted to show you that. Now, there's still work to be done. You may notice that the request date is the 4th of April, which may or may not be appropriate for your use case. If you remember, originally this was January 1st, 2024, when we originally requested this model, but now everything's showing the 4th of April, the 1st of April. So you may not want that. You may want that. And again, we still haven't even got to how you define your period. So how many months or however many quarters or years, however you want to do it. We have not defined how the end date is calculated. So that's up to you. Personally, I think it's for good reason because everybody's business is different. But I'll build something probably offline just to show it can be done, and I'll take you back and work through it. Let's keep working with this. Actually, we will update this asset, and then we'll create another transaction, and let's terminate it this time. And we'll do it on July 1st. So we know we want to buy something on the 1st of the year. We know we want to buy more. This starting the second quarter of that year. And then by Q3, we know we want to finish it. We're done with it. It's the same asset, and we'll just terminate it. So termination doesn't take you back to config. It takes you right back to the transaction. And what you will see is everything is going to be terminated. Okay? And that's what we want. So we'll update the asset. So those are all the big steps you'll need to take to implement asset-based ordering. Again, there's still some work to do because you'll need to tailor this to your business. I'm going to keep working on it. Maybe I'll come back later and show you what I've done as I mature it. But that should be enough to get you started. So I hope this was helpful. Thank you for sticking through, watching the long video. I really appreciate it. So if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I'll check them regularly. I'll answer them if and when I can. And if you could like the channel or subscribe, I really appreciate it. So thank you very much. Have a good day.